Okay. Just trying to get the ratings up here. Happy Friday. That this is Chapel, a special blinding lights challenge edition of Chapel. If you don't know what that is, I guess you're not on TikTok. I don't know. Not that I'm on TikTok. My wife is. She watches the videos and I watch. Why am I out of breath? Guys, I hope you're doing well. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, happy weekend. I don't know when you're going to watch this, but it is posted for you. Um, Getting through another week. It's crazy to think that we have like less than a month left in the school year, but we do. Just want to speak to you a little bit today about a few things. Um, Obviously, this last Friday, a week ago, we found out from the governor that we will not be returning to normal classes for the rest of the year, for the rest of the school year, I should say. So we are officially online for the rest of the semester, for the rest of the 2019-2020 school year. Um, and, I know you guys probably feel very differently across the board about that. I'm not here to tell you how you should feel. I can only really speak for myself. I'm sad. I'm sad that I don't get to see you guys every day. I'm sad that we miss out on some of the end of the year memories and um, all that sort of stuff. It just makes my heart sad. This is not what we expected, um, and yeah, I love you guys, and I really miss you, and there's no getting around that. But right, this is a big but. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. I also want you to hear me say this as your campus pastor. Okay, um, the school year is not over. Um, and I know that might sound simple, like duh, but hear me say that the school year is not over. The building is closed, but the school year is not over. We are still Christian Life Schools, and today I want to take a little bit of time just to talk through a few points because I want us to get into the mindset and take on the perspective that we can still make the most out of this last month and still make the most out of this year and to do it together. And so I got 3 points, 3 challenges, 3 things that I'm going to ask you. That was a bad three. This is the three. All right, 3 ways that we can make the most out of this year, out of this last month, even though we are going to be doing it online and be doing it a little bit different than expected. Okay. So the first point, number one, be present. Be present. Obviously, not physically present, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in every other way, in every way that we can, be present. In the first chapel of the year, going all the way back to the beginning, um, I talked about this idea. I talked about this story of Moses, and God talks to Moses and he says, "Go up on the mountain and be there." And we talked about how that was kind of redundant, right? Like God could have just said, "Go up on the mountain." I feel like the "be there" is kind of implied, right? Like if you got in trouble today and your parents said, "Go to your room and be there," you'd be like, "Okay, yes, where else would I be?" But what we talked about in the beginning of the year was there's a big difference between being here and being present, like fully present and engaged, mind, heart, soul, whatever you want to say. Um, and so we talked about that idea this year of like being present, like not just checking in, checking out, doing the bare minimum, but being present, being fully engaged. Um, and I think that's probably true for us now more than ever. Um, Clearly, during this time, there's no doubt that we could easily check out and not be fully present. And I just want to speak to that uh, for a moment. I just want to ask you guys, as the campus pastor, as a representative of the school, don't check out. Be present. Be present for this next month. All right. Um, don't just check out. Don't just do the bare minimum. Be all the way here with us. Be all the way here with your teachers. Be all the way here with your classmates. This is the last year that we're all going to be together. Right. We have one last month, and so I'm asking you guys to be present. Join the Zoom calls when you can. Right. Check your assignments at the beginning of the week, not the end of the week. See what's out there. Watch the chapel videos. Be a part of Christian Life Schools for one more month. All right. You have plenty of time to do the other stuff. All right, that you want to do. And summer is right around the corner. And I hope we will be free to leave our houses during the summer. I'll say it again. I know the school building is closed, right? But the school year is not over. We are still Christian Life Schools. And I just want to pose this thought or this question. Who knows what God might be able to do in and through this school, in and through you, right? If we choose to be present and fully engaged in what we are doing. All right, so the first point was be present. The second point, be faithful. Be faithful. Let's be real, have some real talk, right? I know motivation levels are probably at an all-time low right now, and rightfully so. This is the time of year when even if we were going to school every day in person, it would still be hard to be motivated because summer is right around the corner, and it is what it is. But let alone being at home, not going to school, sometimes not having accountability, motivation levels are low, and it's tough to be motivated. You don't have to feel bad about not feeling motivated, but I want you to realize it's still a choice, right? I know it's easy to feel like maybe this doesn't mean anything, right? The school doesn't mean anything, that this next month doesn't mean anything, but I want to speak to that as well. You know, one thing that God speaks over and over about in his word is this idea of being faithful with whatever he's given us in any given season of life. And again, it's really easy to feel like school doesn't matter. I know we can probably come up with a lot of good arguments as to why it doesn't matter. But I want you to realize something, right? And this might be for people who believe in God and are following Jesus more than anybody, but I want you to realize something. For God, it's not so much about school or what you're learning right now. It's about you learning how to be faithful in this season of your life. And one of the things that God has called you to be faithful with or responsible with is being a student. For those of you who are Christ followers, you know, again, for those of you who are Christians, you have to understand something very clearly. If God can't trust you with what he's giving you right now, which is to be a student, how can you expect him to trust you with anything bigger later on in life, right? We want to pick and choose what we think is important, you know, and, you know, we want to pick and choose what we think God says is important. But what's important to God is that we are faithful, that we are responsible. The Bible says that if God can trust us with little, then he can trust us with much. But if he can't trust us with little, if we're unfaithful with little, then we will be unfaithful with much. And you need to know, even if you're not a Christian, this principle of life applies, right? In this season, you are building habits right now, and those habits mean something. If we get in the habit of choosing not to care about things that we feel like not caring about, we're setting ourselves up for a lot of failure. Because our entire lives, we will have responsibilities and cares and things in our lives that we don't feel like doing, things that we don't feel like taking care of, in our relationships, in our jobs, in our families, whatever. But I want you to realize that being faithful and being responsible, it's not a feeling, right? We don't often feel like being faithful. We don't often feel like being responsible. It's not a feeling; it's a choice. And you guys have a choice to make in this last month, to be faithful, to be responsible, to work hard, to give your best. And so that's what I'm asking. Let's choose every day to live with purpose and be productive. Let's stay focused. And a couple key words: let's finish strong. You know the importance of finishing strong in life. When you lack motivation, when you don't feel like going above and beyond, that's when God is saying most choose to do so. Because when you choose to finish strong and give your best when you don't feel like it, you are growing as a person. And again, it's not even about school. It's not even about what you're learning in your classes, right? It's about you becoming the person, the young man, young woman God has created you to be. So let's get our assignments done. And let's do them well and with excellence, right? Because you might not feel like being faithful with your schoolwork is a spiritual act, but to God, it is. Everything we do is a spiritual act because it's either a choice to be faithful, to be responsible, or a choice to be unfaithful and just do what we want. Um, all right. So number one was be present. Number two was be faithful. And the last point is I just want you guys to know that you are not alone. I want you to know that you're not alone. We've discussed this a little bit over these last few weeks, but obviously during this season of life, when we are apart from each other, it can be easy to feel alone. And it's the last thing I kind of want to speak to today. I just want to encourage you and remind you that you are not alone. All right. First and foremost, and most importantly, God is with you. And it might not feel like it, but He is. The Bible says that God is with us, that He goes before us. The Bible says that He is near to those whose hearts are hurting. So, especially if you're going through a hard time right now, you might not feel God's presence, but the Bible says that's when God is actually closest to us. We don't have to feel God's presence to believe in what God has promised us. The Bible says that God will never leave us, nor abandon us, nor forsake us. And I know we don't have all the answers as to why everything is going the way that it's going, right? But it doesn't change the fact that God says He is with us. All right. And just knowing that. And my prayer is this, knowing that God is on your side, that He is by your side every day. My prayer is that that gives you strength and courage and encouragement for each day, right? That you would wake up every day, and especially if you're feeling down or discouraged or frustrated or afraid, that you would just remind yourself, God is with me. He goes with me. He goes before me into this day. And I pray that that would give you strength. I pray that that would cover your fear, your anxiety, your worry, your stress, um, whatever it is that you might be feeling. And I pray that it would bring peace, a peace that passes all understanding, knowing that God is bigger, that God is with you. And if the God of the universe is on your side, that means something, right? Even more than that, although again, that's the most important thing, to know that God is with you. Even more than that, I just want to speak on behalf of the school and the teachers and just remind you that we're with you too. And I know we're not physically meeting together, but we're with you. You are in our hearts. And as cheesy and cliche as that can sound, it's just true. We love you guys. We care about you deeply. We get on our weekly Zoom calls as the teachers, and we talk about you and we plan for you. And right now we're just trying to adjust and figure out, how can we do this best, because, we care deeply about you. And so we just want you to know that we are on your side. Christian Life Schools is on your side. And if you're feeling alone, and if you're starting to feel like discouraged, or that nobody cares about you, just be reminded that we do. And we are here for you in any way that we can be. I know we're not physically present, but we are with you in our hearts, in our spirits. And again, as cheesy as that sounds, I just feel like some of you needed to be reminded of that. You just need to hear those words. We love you. We care about you. Christian Life Schools is on your side, and we're here for you in any way that we can be for this next month and beyond. If I'm being honest with you, if I'm being really vulnerable, this last month has been really tough for me. Anybody who knows me knows that I put my heart and soul into this school and into loving the students, and that's hard to do virtually through a screen. I'm tired of talking to you guys through a screen. So much of what I love to do, it's not about getting up on a stage. It's not even about teaching in a classroom. It's about being physically present with my students. It's about seeing them, making them smile, making them laugh, encouraging them on a daily basis, and just being a consistent presence in their life. And I feel like that's tough to do right now, right? It's especially tough because, I'll do something like this, like I'll post a chapel video. I think and I plan and I prep and I prepare a message, and I'll practice it and I'll pray over it, and then I'll record it, sometimes having to record it multiple times because I mess up in some way. And then I'll I'll post it on the CLS community page, and I'll be so excited for people to watch it and be encouraged. And then later in the week, I'll go on YouTube and I'll see a number of views, and it says that maybe 50 or 60 people watched the video. And I'm sure my mom was one of those people, and maybe some of the teachers, maybe my wife, I don't know. But it's tough giving so much and putting so much time and energy into something that maybe you feel like people don't care about. And it's fine. It's okay. It's just, it kind of is what it is. But I just want you to understand that it's tough. It's tough to do that right now. I realize this. Okay. And this is the reality. There are going to be some students who just choose not to care right now. And I know that. And I'm learning how to change my expectations. But there's also another reality, that there are some students who need us more than ever, especially during the season with everything that's going on. And it's for you guys. It's for you guys who need this. It's for you guys who choose to be present and choose to be faithful, and anyone else who would be willing to try. It's for you guys that we as the staff, we as the school, the teachers of Christian Life, we say that we are going to give you our best over this last month. Why? Because we love you, and because the school year is not over, and because we believe that we believe in you with all of our hearts, and we believe that you are worth every little bit of what we could give, whether or not you care about what we are giving. And without over spiritualizing that point, I believe it's always great to kind of put our eyes on Jesus and kind of turn everything towards Jesus, without over spiritualizing that point. You guys realize Jesus went to the cross for us. We just talked about that over Easter weekend. He went to the cross for us. He lived for us. He died for us. Do you know that he did that knowing that some of us might never choose to follow him, to love him back, or even believe in him? And yet he still said, you're worth it. And he would do it all over again, even if you chose not to follow him or to receive what he did for you. He still said, you were worth it. You were worth the pain. You were worth dying for. You were worth the sacrifice. You were worth every bit that he gave. And again, without over spiritualizing it or trying to make it feel like we're doing this incredible sacrificial thing like Jesus, I feel that you guys are just worth it. Whether or not you care, whether or not you give your best, we are going to give our best to you. And our request is for these next 4 weeks, for one more month, that you would give your best to this school. Because like I said, the school building is closed, but school is not over. We are still Christian Life schools, Christian Life Middle School, Christian Life High School for the next month. I truly believe that God is not done doing amazing things in and through this school. If we would just give him our hearts, give him our time, give him our attention, and give him the opportunity to do so. And so again, if we want to make the most out of this year, out of the rest of the time that we have together, although it's very different from what we expected, let's be present. Let's be all the way here, fully engaged. Let's be faithful. Let's realize that it is important to God how faithful we are and how responsible we are with this season of life. And let's put first things first, right? And then lastly, let's know that we're not alone, all right? God is with us. God is for us. We can be in this together. And again, we can make the most of it. So again, I love you guys. I hope you have a great weekend. And just know that, yeah, we're praying for you. And if anybody is needing anything right now, please reach out. Reach out to me, reach out to one of the leaders, one of the teachers. You're not alone. You don't have to go through this alone. And I hope you know that. All right. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye.